You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You got me suicidal, suicidal when you say it's over. John Noah Star. Go on, hold it here, Sean. It's rough out there, no daddy. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Sean Kingston has been sentenced to 3.5 years in prison in the United States of America. Sean Kingston was sentenced to 3.5 years today, y'all. We were really hoping that Sean was actually going to get to serve his time at home. I know some people wish bad for him and wanted him to be even sentenced to more. You could say that he's lucky because he was facing 4 counts of guilty, each carrying 20 years. 20 times 4, that's 80 years. So the judge could have actually given him all kinds of time. But just like I said before, the judge gave his mom, Mama Kingston, get 5 years. So I already knew that Sean was not going to get more than Mama Kingston was. She is somebody who is seen by the system as a reoffender, somebody who did this before, got found guilty in a court of law, served time before this before, and reoffended again, which tells the system kind of like, you have not learned your lesson. And they gave her 5. This is Sean's first time going down that road. So he definitely wasn't going to get that much time. I was looking for him to get about 1 to 2 years if he was going to get any time. He actually asked the judge to sentence him to 2 to 2.5 years, according to his attorneys, when they requested special privileges from the judge, but the judge said something else. The judge went with 3.5 years. So Sean Kingston was sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison today for his role in a $1 million fraud scheme that him and his mother, Mama Kingston, was caught up in. On Friday, today, before U.S. Judge David Leibowitz handed down Sean Kingston's sentence in a South Florida courtroom. The Jamaican rapper, 35. I don't know why they label him as a Jamaican rapper. Sean was born in the United States of America. Yes, he was born to a Jamaican mom, and he has strong Jamaican roots. However, and he's not a rapper either. He's more like a crooner, a singer. But U.S. media has him as the Jamaican rapper. Jamaican, enough you know, say, anytime you do nothing good, and you do anything good, they claim you as theirs. You know, you're American, you just have Jamaican background. If you do anything bad, then they claim you as a Jamaican, right? But Sean was born here. Anyways, Sean is 35 years old right now. To me, 35 plus, you pushing 40, bro. It's time to get it together. And honestly, I hope he get in there and do some Gucci Man shit. Like, remember when Gucci Man went in, big belly, looking like he was about 350 pounds. Gucci came out with a 6-pack. He came out trim, in shape, and ready to take on the world. I'm just hoping all for the best for Sean, man. That's a lot of time to sit down and think and plot and work on your summer body. It's 2025 now. He'll be out in 2028, 2029. Yeah, you should be looking forward to summer 2029 or something like that. Apologizing, and he apologized. When the judge handed down his sentence today, it is said that he apologized, and then he claimed that, hey, I learned from my actions and I won't be doing anything like this again. However, Judge Leibowitz denied Sean Kingston's attorney request. His attorney was actually fighting for him to the very end. So even when he got sentenced, the attorney said, okay, we hear the sentence, Your Honor. We respect the sentence. Can he leave today and then surrender himself at a later date due to some health issues that he is currently going through? Instead, the judge was like, no, I need him to surrender right now. Bailiff, take this defendant into custody immediately. And of course, they slapped them handcuffs on him and took him into custody immediately. I don't know what kind of health issues he's going through. Or maybe that was just the judge, the lawyer trying to like buy him some more time of freedom. I mean, you're going away for 3.5 years. You know, anybody who's going away for 3.5 years wouldn't mind having one more day free. Sean Kingston, who was in the courtroom wearing a black suit and white shirt, he removed the jacket for his suit to be handcuffed, and he was escorted out of the courtroom. Now, as we all know, the whole story rundown goes like this. Sean Kingston has been sentenced to 3.5 years today by a Florida court in a $1 million fraud scheme. By the way, that $1 million fraud scheme, that was $1 million that was done in 2025 alone, in the first couple of months of 2025. So a lot of people might be wondering how long they were racking this up to get to that money. The report says that $1 million was just for the first few months of the new year, 2025. They had other things on the books. You know what I'm saying? So 35-year-old Sean Kingston, born Keshawn Anderson, was found guilty in a South Florida court in March, alongside his mother, both mother and son, Janice Turner, for acquiring about $1 million worth of luxury items through falsifying payments that never cleared. That's for a lot of you who don't really understand why he's going to prison. I'll give you the backstory. His mother, Janice Turner, or Mama Kingston, as she is affectionately called, she was sentenced in July this year, 2025, to 5 years in prison with 3 years of probation to follow after doing 5 years. Both of them were initially arrested in May of 2024 on theft charges after a SWAT team raided Sean Kingston's South Florida mansion. That's when we found out the mansion is rented. It's not really owned by them. And it's $30,000 a month for that mansion. You know, all kinds of stuff was found out. But we did other videos, though, where we talked about we don't really know who owns that mansion. So could it be that that mansion might be in their portfolio? However, in order to protect their assets, they rent it back to themselves. I'm not going to get into that with you right now. Neither here nor there. Investigators told the courts that Sean Kingston used social media from April of 2023 to March of 2024 to arrange purchases of luxury items, and he invited sellers to his Florida home with the promise to feature them and their merchandise on his social media accounts. When it came time for him to pay for the items, such as a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade and then an Audemars Piguet watch, Sean Kingston or his mama would text wire receipts to these people, to the merchants. So the merchants would be like, hey man, you got a watch for me and the watch is $50,000, right? Giving you an example. The watch is $50,000. Where's the money? You haven't made any payments. And it is said that what they would do, they would argue with the merchant and say, we paid that off in full already. And the merchant would be like, well, I'm looking in my records and I haven't found any receipts of yours. And then they would say, well, we got our receipts. Do you want me to send it to you? So they would send a receipt by text, and the merchant would look at the receipt, and the receipt would say the item that they took from them and the amount that it was paid in full. So, of course, these merchants started like, okay, I'm missing something. Maybe it's the bank that's holding on to my money. Maybe it's whatever. So they started going through this process that attracted federal authorities. So during her trial, Mama Kingston admitted to falsifying these wires for Sean Kingston, which she claimed was an effort to protect him from scammers by delaying the payments for these luxury items. because he's Sean Kingston. She was trying to say in the courtroom that we were going to pay it, but I didn't want them to like overcharge him because they think he is a celebrity and he has money. So let's charge him triple the price of something. So I would delay the payments and then slow pay, right? That didn't work. That matter of fact angered the judge so much that the judge spoke about it after she was taken into custody. And the judge said, the only reason I'm taking you into custody today is because you show no remorse. And you're still up here trying to twist this into something that it's not. Just admit that you did wrong, admit that it was theft, and leave it at that. Show some kind of remorse. I was wrong. I won't do it again. Instead of trying to make up this story about you are trying to protect your son. Her attorney got up in court and said, Your Honor, this is not a case of theft. This is a case of a mother trying to protect her son. And the judge was livid. So the judge even said, that's the only reason why I'm making sure that from today, once the verdict was read, you, Mama Kingston, will go straight into custody and you will stay there until your sentence. While Sean, who didn't say anything, he was lucky he didn't say anything. Because if he had got up and said something like his mom said and showed like no remorse or whatever, I would have sent him also right back there too. And he would have been locked up until sentencing. But instead, I'll allow him to be out on bail until his sentencing time comes, right? This is how they said the scheme actually works. Sean Kingston's mom was saying she didn't play a big part in all of this. You know, her attorneys were like trying to minimize her role. And the judge said, nah, her role was not minimal. Her role was big because of how it was laid out. So it seems like Sean Kingston was the one who used his celebrity status and his connections in the industry. So he would go to all these merchants and he would trick them into saying, hey, I got a song out with Justin Bieber. I'm about to go on tour with Alicia Keys. I'm just giving you examples, right? Not saying this is exactly what he said or exactly whose names he called, but the merchants all said he would name drop a lot of other celebrity names. They never said which one. One of them only said Justin Bieber. And he would say, he would look up the video and he would see that Sean had a song with Justin Bieber. And he's like, Justin Bieber is a huge star. So, of course, we're going to, give him the merchandise thinking he's good for it. Plus, he promised us that he would get Justin Bieber to come spend some money at our store and buy some of our goods. And we thought he was good for it. So it is said that Sean would pull the same trick on multiple dealers of different luxury items, jewelry, the TV, the colossal sized television. I don't even know why somebody wanted a TV that big. The TV, the bulletproof Escalade, all the stuff that he took. And then Mama Kingston now would be an intricate part in this because Sean would go get the deal. He would give them the address to where everything needs to be delivered to, and he would schedule the days for the delivery. Mama Kingston was the one who would make sure that somebody was there to collect these things when they were delivered to the house by the merchants and to have them set up and installed. And then she was also the one who would handle the wiring of the receipts, which turned out to be fake receipts, saying that she had paid off the goods. So she was an intricate part in all of this. Sean Kingston refused to testify. As evidence, and prosecution presented texts from Sean Kingston to his mother that read, I told you to make a fake receipt, followed by, so it looks like the transfer will be there in a couple of days. Again, this is one of the evidence text messages that was used by the feds against them from Sean Kingston to his mother. And the text message said, quote unquote, Sean talking to Mama Kingston, it said, I told you to make a fake receipt. And then the next one says, so it looks like the transfer will be there in a couple of days. Wow. Well, before the judge delivered his sentence and gave him his time in prison today, Sean Kingston apologized. He said that he was wrong. He said that he was sorry for his actions. He said that he had learned his lesson. His lawyer had previously asked the judge for home confinement. And I told my audience, I said, other popular people have been sentenced to home confinement. And I used one person like NBA young boy who was sentenced to years of home confinement, right? And I thought maybe this is not far-fetched. Maybe they would give him time in home confinement. His attorneys were saying, Judge, if you put him on home confinement, all he's going to do is lock in the house, lock into his art, produce good music, do shows if he is allowed. If not, at least the music will be produced and he can do content from home that can earn money, generate money to pay restitution back to his victims. So all in all, this would work both ways because it would actually allow him to be able to pay these victims back. But if he goes to prison right now, he's just going to be sitting in prison for 3.5 years or however much you sentence him to, and he won't be able to do anything productive to pay these people back. I was all for that. I was all for that. I said, you know what? At the end of the day, this is the first time he ever got into anything like this. Let him be on home arrest. And if he messes it up, then you take him into custody. But give him a chance to pay these people back also. Well, shit didn't go that way. Shit did not go that way at all. Okay? His attorneys even said that Sean Kingston, in fact, has already paid back most of the people that he defrauded. And that is by working and giving them monies that he has earned. Well, Sean will be locked up for the next 42 months. He gonna miss a couple of summers. I just hope he stays safe in prison, because prison is not no joke place. Whether you're in state or you're in the feds, it's not a joke place. Tory Lanez just got stabbed 14 times, collapsed lungs, had to be airlifted to a hospital for emergency surgery. You know, you don't know what goes on when you get behind them walls. And there are people there who will try to get stripes off you just so they can have bragging rights to say, oh, you know Sean Kingston, the one that sing that Beautiful Girl song? Yeah, I punched that fat motherfucker in his face, boy. I'll beat his ass in here. You know, I had Sean Kingston washing my drawers. People will go the lengths to harm him behind bars. So we don't know if he's going to be doing his time in protective custody or in isolation. SEG, it's called ADSEG. There's a difference I've learned from the Tory Lanez case. So protective custody is different from ADSEG. Protective custody is where like people who have decided, I don't want to be in my prison gang anymore. I'm going to debrief. I want to change my life. Or I'm gay and I don't want to be in general population because I could get harmed, raped or something. They will put those people in protective custody. Protective custody is different from ADSEG. Administrative segregation is when the prison themselves lock a inmate in segregation for that inmate's own safety because of who that inmate might be. Because they're well aware that there are people in there who will harm somebody who is famous just to get stripes off of them and nothing else. Now, to be honest, in our logical thinking, he defrauded a couple of people out of some items. Those people ended up getting back their items in good condition to where they can resell them and make money. I understand that it's wrong, but does he deserve to be in prison where he is shanked and stabbed up multiple times and lose his life? I don't think so. That type of payment would not be fitting of the crime that was committed. So again, I wish him the best, and I hope he does his time in peace. I hope he learns a lot from this. I hope he takes time to put himself back together, both physically, health-wise, and mentally, spiritually as well. Sean Kingston was born in Miami, Florida. A lot of people are confused and thinking he was born in Jamaica and then he was raised in the United States of America. His mother was born in Jamaica, and his mother is facing deportation when she gets out of prison. You see, there's a list under the Donald Trump administration, the deportable list. It's a list of offenses that will have them take away or denaturalize you. So a lot of people are like, damn, she been here for mad years and she got a green card? How come she didn't get her citizenship yet? Well, under Donald Trump's ruling and the things that he has put in place, fraud, including wire fraud, is one of the offenses that is considered a denaturalization offense. I want all of my scammers them and my bang, the one them where banging line, chopping line, all that, and you living in the United States of America, if you do not want to be stripped of your citizenship and deported, please remember I told you this. Donald Trump added scamming, bang the line, all that you want to call it, wire fraud, to denaturalization list of offenses. So under those rules, they already informed Sean Kingston's mom that she will be facing deportation once her time is over. She even went to the judge through her attorneys and requested, please, can I serve my time right here in Miami, where my family can come and visit me while I'm serving my time. Because once I'm done serving my time, you plan to deport me back to Jamaica, where I will be permanently separated from my family that's here. My family, my support system, my circle is right here. And you're going to deport me anyway, so can you at least grant me that? The next facility where she could be serving her time, federal facility, it is many hours away from Miami. So far, so good. They've kept her in place so far, but we don't know what might happen over the years of her serving. She might get moved up the road, or they might just keep her right there. Sean Kingston, on the other hand, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's going to get deported just like his mama. Well, he was born in the United States of America, and he was raised in Kingston. It, according to this report, says that he was raised in his parents' native, Kingston, Jamaica, and between Kingston and Miami. The singer remains most famous for his 2007 single that's called Beautiful Girl, which you heard me singing at the beginning of this. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You got me suicidal. That song is super powerful. That song took him around the world. That song allowed him to be in the company of A-list stars and to be considered an A-list star at one point. That song gave him collaborations. That song put millions of dollars in his pocket. That song, he still performs that song and gets paid to do so to this very day. That song topped the Billboard charts when it was released. He has released 4 albums to his credit, and he has collaborated with big names in the industry like Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, just to name a few. Him and Justin Bieber had another hit that's called Eeny Meeny that was put out in 2011. So Sean Kingston had his day in the spotlight, you know what I mean? According to federal court records, Janice Turner, or Mama Kingston, she pleaded guilty back in 2006 to bank fraud for stealing over $160,000. So according to the system, Mama Kingston been a big chopper, you know? She had chopped the line a long time, 160K plus. And they actually gave her some prison time for that, of which she served almost 18 months of her prison time, both then. Both Mama Kingston and Sean have been sued multiple times over the years for failure to pay for luxury items. I don't know if they thought that they couldn't see that one day this was going to happen to them, but it did. It all came crashing down. I guess they thought the worst that could happen was a judge was going to say, pay these people back their money. And somebody would put them on a payment plan and they would pay it back. I don't think they saw prison time in this, but his mom should have known that prison time was in this because she went down this road way back in 2006. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got to think, 2006, that's way back. So, over the years, records show that both Mama Kingston and Sean Kingston were sued multiple times for failure to pay back for luxury items, most recently by a Florida entertainment system company in February of 2024. It all comes crumbling down today. Man, I wish Sean all the best. I hope he stays safe behind them bars. Do the time, homie. Don't let the time do you. Mama Kingston is 63 years old, fam. 63. At the end of the day, it could have been way worse for both of them. Because anyhow, the judge got in his feelings and was like, you getting 80 years, but I'm giving you I'm not going to give you 80, but I'm going to sentence you to 20. Ooh, that would have been painful. Sean Kingston was arrested back in California, and they extradited him to Florida as if he was a murderer. I mean, shackled, hands and feet, escorted by marshals on a plane, taken to Broward County Jail, and then processed and then released from there. I remember when they went to go get him after they raided the mansion and his mom was alone at the mansion and they took her into custody. He was out in California. He was about to do a show and they allowed him to do his show. And then right after he was done doing his show, they took him into handcuffs. They were like, go ahead, earn your money because you already booked for the show. We're not going to fuck up these people's event. Get your money. But no, we waiting for you here. Could you imagine how nervous he was on stage, singing, entertaining an audience, earning that check, knowing that once I get off the stage, they about to put me in handcuffs. Man, I wish him all the best, y'all. Y'all leave some good words. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to tell you to leave no good words. I'm just not the kind of person to kick somebody when they're down. I understand that wrong is wrong. The law is going to do what it's going to do, and karma is going to do what it's going to do. It don't need me throwing my foot in there. That's it. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You got me suicidal when you say it's over.